And like, what do you get when you do one-on-one coaching? I mean, it is kind of a little bit self-explanatory, but I'm sure there's so much more to it that
you get coaching that's one-on-one.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 54 of the On the Runs podcast. We are live and in person. We are on a absolute high right now. Wow, what an interview we just had. This is a little teaser. What an interview we just had that you guys are going to have to wait for.
No spoilers.
Yeah, it has, well, maybe we'll give one spoiler. Pink.
Sure.
Yeah, Pink. So... great Aerosmith song, by the way, or decent Aerosmith song. Not one of the greatest, but one that everyone loves. So we are in person. We have these new fancy microphone stands. Here they are. They're really cool. We're really moving up here in the living room studio.
We're in the big times now.
I will have to continue running and working out and strength training because now I don't have a pillow to cover my gut.
You just got to sit in the broken couch seat where it's lower
Yeah,
than
that
all the
might
rest
help.
of them.
So
you can't tell mine.
Speaking of your house, remember when we had Amanda on in January and there was that whole scene where I lost it and laughing about her and her boyfriend having their first pee together? And you were like, Eric has lost it and he went to the bathroom and now he's peeing with the door open?
Yes.
Your door doesn't shut that well.
I know it doesn't.
Yes,
but
so
you just don't try.
I use that bathroom quite a bit, and I do close it, but I expect it to kind of like latch. And I kind of realized today,
You got to kick the bottom. That door has been shitty since we bought the house, which we just hit our 8-year house anniversary.
No
just
way.
yesterday.
Really
So
8
that's
years?
been a broken door for 8 years.
I think I'm at 7 now. I'm at
Really?
7.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. We refinanced last year,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 years ago now, and we got like a sweet interest rate deal, like under 3%.
Oh,
And
me
we cut
too.
off years. We went we had 26 years left. We cut off 6 years.
Dude, I did the same
We
thing.
went to 20. We cut off 4 or 6 years, whatever it was.
I cut off 15 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
so
no. How many?
it's not my
We
forever.
went to a 15-year loan.
It's not my forever home, though.
I can't say this is my forever home either. We need more space. Not for any other
Your
reason.
house is much bigger than mine. And you have no
How
kids,
is
and you
mine
need more
bigger?
space.
We want room for activities. Brandon wants like to woodwork, and there's just no space.
No, I want
I
like
want a garage so I can get
Yeah.
an electric vehicle.
I want a
plug it in.
I want a 2-car garage with a loft on top, or like I want like
How
a barn.
cool would that be?
I want
Yeah.
a barn off to the side.
Mhm.
You know, we didn't even talk about the barn animals. Oh my God, write that down for next year when we have her on.
I don't have a pencil. They're over there.
Here's the other thing I'm thinking. Because Brandon's home and he's been home for a while and we just finished our interview.
Banished him to the basement.
You're like, Brandon, could you start dinner soon? Like,
no, I told him he could start dinner. I am not one who cooks. I just don't enjoy cooking.
it's 8:15 p.m.
Yeah.
now and we haven't eaten.
I'll eat a bowl of cereal tonight. And
I'm
I'll be
thinking we just need to
happy.
always bring food when we record at your house. Like
That'll make Brandon happy.
subs or something. And
Yeah.
we could always get a third for Brandon as like, hey, thank you for letting us use the house and being quiet and disappearing downstairs or upstairs,
He'll
wherever
become
he goes.
his favorite person.
He's getting more comfortable now. The last couple episodes, we're like, dude, you can be over there doing whatever. You don't need to like hide the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't affect the interviews or the podcast anyway. So
he's got a TV. He's got a sweet setup downstairs. He's got a nice TV. He's got his PlayStation. Like, yeah, he's got stuff to do.
well, our
He can go-
our
he can go
setup is
play.
getting sweeter too. We got these fancy like,
Hands free. Hopefully none of this.
but explain what we did here to counter the weight.
So you can't see it. It's you did it on your
We did it on the
Live.
Instagram Live. Check it out.
We just did a little Instagram Live, but we have our we have a counterbalance where we have our mic cases and we put a weight inside, so it's making it so it doesn't spin.
We got the
quite so
2-pound
crazily.
Peloton weights inside to keep it like perfect balance because the arm's so far extended towards us, the weight of the microphone just wants it to drop. So
Yeah.
well, let's not extend this anymore. Let's get to our interview
Yes, let's.
because so Boston stuff's going to wait. And because we haven't finished all our Boston interviews yet, we haven't even started because every time we thought we would do it, the Bruins had a game and they kept losing.
Well,
And
now you don't have the Bruins to worry about.
remember what I
anymore.
said on the pod a couple of weeks ago when I congratulated them on their amazing season, but I said it doesn't matter unless you do it in the playoffs. Remember what I said I was worried about? Goaltending. It's not what we Tuukka Rask is one of the greatest goalies we ever had, and a lot of people don't like him, and then a lot of people love him. Guys, he could get you out of the first round. These guys can't, and this is they benefit from a
Very
great team in front of them. What a disappointment. I'm not going to call it a choke or an embarrassment. The NHL upsets in hockey are common. It's not like basketball where there is no parity. Like, I don't even know if I used that word correctly there, but like the 16th seed in the Stanley Cup Finals in the past, even recently, has won the Stanley Cup.
Ooh.
Any team that makes it can win it. So upsets are common, but they're not really upsets. Like the league is great, but
They had a 3-1 lead though, at one point.
no
right?
reason they should have lost that series.
They were 2 games over or 2 games up.
No, they had a
and-
3-1 lead,
Yeah.
and then in the last 2 games they had the lead in the third period, total of 3 times, and yeah, so
You got to insert the whip, 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 whip. noise
so
here.
I'm not sad like I used to be. Like I was really, but like now I got my nights free again.
Okay, cool.
So, but because of that, we did an interview over a month ago, and I feel really bad for her because typically we do the interview and I get it out within 2 to 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I edited this on the airplane when I was coming home from Nashville. Like I'm trying to remember, what did we talk about? So we had this girl. She's really awesome. She's from California, West Coast girl,
Mm-hmm.
lives in San Diego, but
Yep.
grew up in Northern California, I think San Francisco area. Done some cool marathons. She did Chicago with you.
She's a trainer.
She's a trainer, a coach.
Yep.
She does a lot for women running. So she was really great. And she did this one race. I do remember another one where, well, I'm not going to give it away, but it was the Nike race and the
The Nike women's race.
right.
Yeah.
And you didn't get a medal. You got something else handed to you by somebody else. So
Yeah, we'll let her tell it.
yeah, we'll let her tell it. So guys, enjoy our next interview with Jennifer Steele.
Our next guest on the runs comes all the way out west from California, and she is joining us on the runs. She reached out to us on Instagram, and I love when people do that because it just brings all these new, fun, and exciting people into our world. She's a run coach, and she's just so super cool running mom. I'm so excited, Jen, to have you on the podcast. Jen Steele, welcome to On the Runs.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to chat with you guys.
We are too. It's been so long we've been trying to connect. So finally it's happening and let's get right to it, shall we?
Yeah, we were just saying, I was at Disney World when you messaged me, and I was like, I'll get back to you. And I think it was like a month and a half later, I'm scrolling through my DMs. I'm like, oh, Jen Steele, that's right. I said I would bring you on. And life comes at you fast. It just blows by the time. But how are you?
I am good. I am settling in. I'm really waiting for spring here. We've had a really rainy stretch in California, which I know makes me a whiner, but like I live in San Diego for a reason. So
Have you guys gotten a lot of rain? Yeah.
we've gotten more rain this year than in all of 2022.
No way.
Aren't you originally from Northern California?
I am, yeah. So I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area and lived there until about 2 years ago. And then we relocated.
Oh, why the big move down south? That is a big move, even though you're in the same state.
Yeah. It's like over 500 miles. So solid move. Because we wanted to. We'd been down here a bunch of times and fell in love with it. And then it was a pandemic move. So California was super strict during all of the things. And 8 weeks of like not seeing friends and family, we were like, oh, we could do this where we don't actually live next to them. Like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. It's like some people are like, what, no hugging, no touching? That's totally fine by me. And then some people are like, I can't go a couple days without like hugging my favorite
That was
friend
really
in the
hard for me. I am definitely a hugger, and I not seeing my parents and my sister and my friends. It was tough for me. Yeah. So being closer, a little bit closer, but in the nicer weather, that's definitely a plus.
You
the
said you made
beach.
many trips to San Diego when you were living in the Bay Area. What was the reason for those trips?
We loved it down here. So we came on vacation. We would take our daughter to Disneyland, and then we would just drive the extra hour or so to go to San Diego. Both of my baby moon trips before the babies came were down to here. So yeah, just became our go-to spot.
I'm jealous you had a baby moon. I never had a baby moon.
So you mentioned you have a couple of kids. Why don't you tell us about your family?
Yeah, so I have two daughters. They are 6 and 3.5, almost 4, and they're all kinds of crazy. Right now we're in the juggling. So I teach part-time in addition to my run coaching, but I don't teach at either of their schools. So we're in the midst of juggling all the things, 3 different
That's gotta be-
schools.
How do you do it? I can barely do it, and I don't even work at the school.
I mean, it's a lot of scheduling.
What do you teach at school?
3rd grade. So I only teach part-time, which is the
Okay.
greatest gift ever.
Oh man, I don't know how you do it. Teachers are something else. They're absolutely amazing. I don't envy my daughter's teachers, just knowing my daughter. And then the rest of them, I'm like, oh my God. And we just had a big birthday party and the whole class was there. And I'm like, how do these 2 teachers do it? It's like 1 teacher and a teacher assistant. I don't know how they do it. 6-year-olds are insane. So I have a 6-year-old, or she just turned 7, and you have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. So yeah, the juggling is insane. Erica knows all about it because I talk to her about it.
I hear
constantly,
about
just
it, but I am kid free, so I can only sympathize with you guys.
And the worst is when they get sick, right? Because then you got to stay home, and it's like one's sick, one's not, but then the other one gets sick. It's just, it never stops, right, Jen?
No, it never. And then who's going to stay home with the kids today, and who gets to change their life, and who gets to go about their day and not deal with the sick.
Right. It's like, I have to go to work today. Well, I have to go to work too. Well, who's going to stay home with the kids? Well, what are your parents? Nope, there's a snowstorm. They're not coming over. Oh, that was my week last week. Well, Jen, let's talk about you and running, because we're a running podcast, right? What were you doing as a child? Were you a runner then, or an athlete? What did you do?
I did not run at all. I remember for whatever reason, maybe because I didn't do numbers when I was a kid, the 5th grade presidential mile test was 14 minutes.
You can see the kind of effort you're putting into that.
Right. And then I didn't run again. I went to a charter school, so we didn't have to do traditional PE. I did dance, so that was my athletic movement and competitive dance growing up. And then in college, I had a friend right after we had turned 21, and she kind of convinced me to do I thought it was a 10K. She registered for the 5K, and that was the start of my running story.
Well, wait a second. What is competitive dance? Is that you have dance offs and you're competing against each other one-on-one? What's the movie with all those girls? Oh my God, it's a cheerleading movie now.
Well, dance and cheerleader not the same.
Bring it on. Is it
great cardio?
You say competitive dance, I'm thinking 1 versus 1.
No,
and,
it's team. So it was through my school. It was actually color guard, if you know. I don't know if you know what that is, which is in band, there's the color guard, that marches with the marching band, but I did something called winter guard. So the flags and the rifles and the sabers that you spin and throw and dance
twirl
and
and
stuff with them.
That's
So
hard to do, man. That's coordination in itself.
It was a lot of coordination.
So it's not Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson and Zoolander
No,
then. Okay.
it was not. I mean,
That's where you go for dance off? Okay.
those videos would be a lot more fun to go back and watch.
That would be great. We need to do a reel with a Zoolander, remake or something. That would be fun. But
What is that, Blue Steel or something?
Yeah.
The face, whatever.
yeah. Oh my God, we're already off track.
So your first race, your friend said you thought it was a 10K. It was actually a 5K.
No,
5K.
other way. I thought I knew there was
okay.
I knew there was options at the race.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had agreed to sign up for the 10K. But we got there on race morning, and I was signed up for the 10K, and she was signed up for the 5K.
Oh, so that's a little sneaky there. That's
Yeah.
not
So
that's not a friendly thing to do.
we started together, and then I had to do a second lap by myself of the 5K course.
Yep.
And she was like, bye.
So had you only trained for the 5K at that point?
No, because I knew I was doing the 10K the whole
Oh.
time. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
trained when you're 21 and have a friend like casually drop it in, like, hey, we should do this because we're going out too much. It was very loosely trained.
That's fair. That's fair.
The 10K was your first race. Is that the one that got you hooked?
I think it was the running community, because I actually don't love the 10K distance. I've never done a 10K race since then. I just fell in love with like the community. I think I picked a really amazing, the organization that put on the race is very much like a local California based. It was based out of the Bay Area. Now they have some races all over California. Women focused. It's called the Mermaid Series. So like very
Ooh.
all inclusive, like come and walk it. There was no pace. So like even I think I probably took about 90 minutes to run this 10K, and I wasn't the back of the pack because I was like, and so I think like just the whole idea of all of it was like the best experience it could have been. And then I like refound some competitive stuff that kind of went away in college, not being a college athlete or anything like that along the way. So
How long did it take you to get into another race?
it was a while. I don't think I did another race for a year and a half almost. And then I ran a half. And then after that, I
all
was
right.
sold.
Did your friend continue that journey with you, or were you on your own?
Not,
Where she's like 5K and done, or?
she did more like 5Ks. I think she's done some 10Ks since then, but definitely didn't continue on the same trajectory that I did.
So you kind of found the running community outside of just a few other friends. You probably met a bunch of new people and new running friends in that journey.
I didn't at first. I had just a couple of close friends that I would like casually run with sometimes, but it was more like a solo, like which is still what it is for me in a lot of ways, like time to process and think about things and feel feelings and all of that good stuff that I don't traditionally like to do very much.
That's perfect. I mean, everybody uses their runs for different reasons, and if you're getting some mental clarity, just a time to unleash feelings, it's clarifying. It's great.
So how did that first marathon go? Usually everyone has a great story about their first marathon because it's your first big 26-mile race. How'd it go for you?
There's no good stories here. I think I was blessed with not knowing what I didn't know going into it. And this was, 2011 or so. And I was not into like the runner's blog. I know that they existed. I didn't read any of them. I think I found a free plan online that I kind of sort of followed when I wanted to. I had just graduated from college and I was commuting into San Francisco for work. And so, I did what I could, and it showed on race day. I pulled a muscle in my hip, or like down something, glute at about mile 15 or 16. And then the race person, the race marshal, or somebody pretending to be the race marshal, came by on a Segway at like mile 23 and was like, they're going to close the finish line. And I don't think he actually did it, because we got there and everything was still as fabulous and set up as it was supposed to be. Nike, the big deal at the end was that you got a Tiffany's necklace. That was like the big...
That's a big selling point. Yeah,
well, you don't get a finisher's medal, you get a Tiffany's necklace. And so I was like, I can remember running this end section with my girlfriend, or walk running it at this time, being like, all the 4-letter words, and I'm going to get that Tiffany's necklace. Like if I have to tear it from somebody's hands. Yeah. I mean, this is like 6.5 hours of running later. I was exhausted. I don't know. I was delirious.
So it was not your ideal first marathon. That's not what you were envisioning.
No, definitely not.
What do the guys get for finishing that race?
Same thing.
They get a Tiffany's necklace.
I feel
All
like,
right. I love it.
it's
I
the
wonder what they do with
Nike's
it.
women, like the women's marathon. So they're trying to get more women into it. So, I mean,
it was given
yes,
to
men
you,
can run, but
I can't remember if it was, I think it was given to you by a San Francisco firefighter in a tux. So like the
That's an
entire thing
awesome
was
selling
all
point.
for women. They don't do it anymore, but that was like the entire draw was like all women.
I think they do. They do one. Don't they do one in like the Hamptons,
Nicole
Erica?
just
Nicole
did, that.
did
Yeah,
one, right?
Yeah. I think it was a half.
It might have
though.
been a while ago,
Also
but
a half,
yeah.
I think. I don't know if they do fulls,
Yeah.
but
I asked her the
would do
same
it.
question. What do the guys get? And she's like, just don't go. It's for us. It's for us women. Don't go.
Pretty much.
let us have this. Just one thing.
Just this one thing. Oh, that's cool. So your first race was. Did you know that when you signed up for that race, you were going to get a Tiffany's necklace? Yeah. So was that like motivation? Like, okay, I want, because Erica, she's upstairs, but if you go downstairs in her house, she has like 800 medals. I don't know. I'm exaggerating.
Not quite 800.
So she run.
Close.
She and a couple of her friends, like Rachel, runs her medals. They're about the medals, So I guess I'm blabbering on here. Did you see it and you're like, ooh, Tiffany's necklace? Yes, I'm going to do that race.
I think it was the whole thing. So at the time, they had been doing it for like 12 years that Nike had, and it takes over the city. Like they completely closed down. I'm blanking on the name of the square. There's a big shopping square in San Francisco that's like 4 city blocks, and then everything comes out from that. And they close that entire area to corral the runners at the start. And then San Francisco is a very small town. It's only 7 miles by 7 miles. So you literally are running the entire town to cover 26 miles. And so that part, it was, if you knew San Francisco, then you had experienced this race. And I want to say it was around 25,000 women that ran it, or people who ran it. So it was a really good sized race as well. And so I think it was the combination of those things. Mm-hmm. Also, my favorite movie is Breakfast at Tiffany's. So adding a Tiffany's necklace didn't hurt anything.
Do you get to run over the Boston? No. Oh my God, Boston.
Golden Gate. You're thinking Golden Gate.
Yeah. Do you get to run over the Golden Gate Bridge in this race?
No, but you ran by the Presidio, which is like the park right next to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there once. I went out skiing. So my brother lives in the Tahoe area. And I went out there, visited him for a few days. We went skiing. It was April. It dumped 30 inches the night I landed. And we skied for 3 straight days. And then all the snow wasn't gone. But we went to San Francisco, and I had a friend who lived out there. I spent 2 days with him. It was a lot of fun. City touring is something I can do for a day. 2 days is a little much. The best part was actually I went to Sacramento on my way back to Tahoe with another friend. And that was a blast. But we just day dranked all day at these really cool like bars in a warehouse, kind of like there'd be a CrossFit gym, you know how those are in these warehouses, and then a bar next door, like just like Pipe Dream, all these cool bars in Sacramento like Pipe. So I really enjoyed my time out there in the Bay Area. It was a lot of fun. I've never been to San Diego, but I would imagine, can you even run across the Golden Gate Bridge? Is that a thing?
Yeah, and some races will do it. I think that for Nike it was probably too big because they don't close the road. So you're running on a sidewalk, essentially on the side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Is it like a real sidewalk, or is it like a bigger sidewalk because they know people come? Like I'm thinking the Brooklyn Bridge. You ever gone to the Brooklyn Bridge?
Not. It's like, I mean, it's slightly bigger than a residential sidewalk, but it's not like a huge walkway or pathway or paved trail or anything like that. And then there's a nice gap like that between the gate, you know, on the side, and then
in the cars.
No, in the walkway. So there's like walkway, and then like a 4 to 6 inch gap, and then there's the railing, which is really interesting.
No thanks.
Yeah, maybe they weren't thinking about like how many people would come to this bridge. I know I've been to Brooklyn, and the Brooklyn Bridge is you're above the cars actually, but it's this huge overpopulated area, kind of like a wooden deck walkway through the middle. I was envisioning that, which also probably wouldn't be the best thing to run on, but no, it would be really cool to say you ran across the Golden Gate Bridge.
I've done another race that went across the Golden Gate Bridge and back, and it was really cool, and it was so early, so it wasn't busy, and it felt like running through the fog because you're in the city, and then when you land across the Golden Gate Bridge, you're in Sausalito, which is like beautiful views looking back at kind of the skyline of San Francisco. So it is really cool to do.
No, it's cool. I've been, and I'll go back again because my brother, he actually just moved to the Napa Valley. So I'll be out
I've been
there.
a couple of times. I'd go back too.
Have you done a marathon yet in California, Erica?
Done Big Sur, and that's the reason why I went. I've done Big Sur twice, and we had friends who were living in Oakland at the time, which is right next to San Fran. So we would spend a couple of days there, and then drive down to Monterey, and the rest is history.
Beautiful race.
Mm-hmm.
You got into run coaching to become a run coach. You are, I guess, our third run coach that we've had on the pod. We've had Ruth, Nicole.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
counting
yes,
Nicole.
yes.
It's very new for her.
Yes.
But you're our third run coach, and you've been doing this for a little while,
I have,
right?
yeah, 4 years, a little over 4 years now. And I started kind of through my own work with a coach in 2017. I got in the lottery to run Chicago, which is a whole story in and of itself. So in 2017, I ran
Yes.
Chicago, and I worked with a coach for that. And kind of through that process, I was still a very much mid back of the packer. I had run another marathon since then, had gotten it closer to 5 hours, but not super speedy or anything by any stretch. And I realized like I needed more help. I needed more accountability in my running. And so I worked with a coach. I had no problem like reaching out for help to get that. And in that process, I realized that most people who were running or whose runs looked like mine didn't think that they deserved to work with a coach, didn't think that it was worth it, didn't see value in it. And so kind of after that process, throw in being a new mom kind of on top of it, I realized how helpful it was to have somebody else. And then I kind of wanted to be that person for people who might not otherwise feel like they should work with a coach or had a coach that kind of knew where they were coming from or what life looked like for them.
So do you typically work with women, or who is your typical athlete that you work with?
I typically work with women, although I have coached a few men for different things, getting back into running after some time off or who want to improve 5K, 10K has been most of the men that I've worked with, but it is definitely more women. But I think that's kind of because that's the message that I put out, right? Like I started coaching as a new mom, and that's kind of my spiel.
Yeah, you go here to help you love running and PR with less miles. So we talk about women in running and your mother. What is the Mother Runner?
So that's actually the Instagram handle for a organization called Another Mother Runner, which is a group of, or it's a organization that helps women with running. So the founders, Dimity and Sarah, have training plans, and they have books that they've written and training journals. And now they have all kinds of different services they offer and groups that they run. They have nutrition programs, like it's a whole suite of things.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the coach for their 5K program.
No way.
So
How did you get connected with them?
I was an ambassador, or I still am an ambassador, just like a general ambassador for their program. I've used the training programs before. They're slightly more personalized than a generic training plan. And you get popped into a Facebook group with people who are training for the same race, using the same, or training with the same plan that you're using. And then they posted that they were looking for a coach. And so I applied.
Pick me.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the concept of those Facebook groups, though. Those are just so motivational. And especially if you're just having a bad day, you can just find anybody who's going through the same thing as you. And especially if you're training for the same things, you're going to come across the same roadblocks. And it's just such an excellent resource.
Well, and I think if you're not at a point where you want to pay for a coach, it's so helpful to have somewhere to go, even with, like, I think I used their plan maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I'd been running for a long time, but I just needed like a sounding board sometimes. Like, okay, remind me how I'm supposed to use this hill. And there is a coach in these groups. So like for my 5K group, I'm the coach. So I go in there and I actually do coach the athletes that are in that group. I answer questions and things like that. So I think
That's
it's helpful
great.
to just have somebody that you can go to, or, you know, people who are like, you're not the only one.
Right.
Now, is all of this virtual and girls and women runners around the world or the country, or are a lot of them based in the San Diego area where you
No,
are?
it's all over. I think another mother runner might be US based, and then I work with athletes all over the world. So I have a couple.
All over the world.
Right now, I don't have any, but in the past, I've had athletes in Germany and Scotland and Qatar.
Oh, awesome.
You know what you got to do is you just got to say, honey, to your husband, I need to go out there. It's a business trip. I'll expense it. It's a tax write-off. I got to go to Germany, and then I'm going to go to Qatar. And I said guitar, like a. It's because I'm in Nashville right
no,
now.
you
Like a
said it
guitar.
right. You said guitar. Yeah.
It'd be you get maybe one day you'll get one in Cape Town, South Africa. Honey, I gotta go. I gotta coach this girl. She's got a big race coming up, big 5K.
I had 3 athletes
Gotta go to
run
Cape Town.
Berlin and London last year, and I was like, okay, can I make this happen? Like, do I need
Yes.
to go be there for them?
Manifest.
If you need anyone to back you up and say that you need to be there, I will do it for you. I
Will
will
be the
say
alibi?
she needs to be there. She
Has
needs
to
to be at
be.
the race. You need to send her. Yeah. Especially those international ones where you get to go somewhere you've never been before.
London
So,
and Berlin are pretty great. definitely want to go there.
I don't know if you know this, but Erica just got. I love to pump
He
Erica's tires
does.
and sometimes embarrass her and talk about her all the time.
I'm very excited.
She
I'll
just
show
did
you this. Keep going.
She did Tokyo the other day,
That's
and she
right.
got her 6th star.
Congratulations.
I just got my certificate that
Okay,
shows
that's
I did all
amazing.
these. So I was showing him earlier. I was like, I just got this framed. I printed it out at work, so it's not a good thing. Thank you. He's going to be talking about it more than me, I think. I don't like to brag too much, but like it was special. It's pretty special.
It's a big deal.
No, it is a big deal, and I will pump her tires and tell everyone how amazing she is. And I'm the same way. I won't tend to brag as much, so I need her to do it for me when I finally do my next
bet.
big marathon. So, all right, I have a feeling Chicago is going to be your favorite. So, but outside of Chicago, what's your favorite race you've done?
Any distance?
Any distance.
It's a good question.
Put her on the spot. I got her. Yes.
I mean, I think that other than Chicago, all the races I've done have been in California. I mean,
That didn't
there's
narrow
a
it
lot,
down, man.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
miles
didn't help
here
out.
to do.
I didn't help out much, though.
So I think I have a couple different ones for different reasons.
All right, let's hear them.
So the La Jolla half I've run, it was the first half marathon I ever ran. And then last year I went back and I ended up running it as like a fun run because I had a deferred entry. I wanted to rerun it 10 years later. And then it got canceled because of COVID stuff. And so I ran it the year later. It was a deferred entry. It's a really hilly race. It's not an easy course, but it's beautiful. And I ran it as like a fun training run as I was leading up to a marathon that I did last June. And kind of when I got to the finish, like my girls were there and my husband was there and my in-laws were there.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I ran it like with one of my girlfriends, ran it as a training run with me. And so like the whole time we were like laughing and taking videos of each other. And so that was like the most fun for sure that I've ever had, like during a race. And then I ran a Rebel race. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them.
I'm running one this year.
Which one?
I'm doing Revel Rockies in Colorado
nice.
in June.
Fun. So I did the Big Bear one in November, the half. And
So cool.
that was super fun for like an entirely different reason. I had a really great race. It went really well for me. The downhill was great. The recovery is really hard. So just bear in mind.
I will.
A girlfriend and I that ran it together saw each other at preschool pickup the next day, and we were literally both waddling, like couldn't really walk. We just like saw each other and started laughing so hard.
We know the drill. Yeah. Like I know what you did yesterday.
I know the drill.
Yeah.
No. I was just saying, like seeing somebody doing the walk and you're like, yeah, I know what you did.
It was like the hardest muscle recovery I've ever had. My husband was like, I've never seen you this sore. And I was like, yeah, that downhill felt great the whole time during the race, but afterwards.
I've done Revel Mount Hood when they still had that in Oregon, and I ran that with a stress fracture, so I was hurting in a whole different way after that race. But
Yeah.
I totally
Didn't you
understand.
fall?
That was Shauna. Shauna fell
Oh
down.
yeah, Shauna had the bloody knees.
Yeah, but she fell down at like was it 2 or 5 or something, and then had to run the rest of the marathon like with bloody
Bleeding.
knees and like scraped hands, and she was not happy. She did great though, better than me.
Have you ever run the CIM marathon? I know that's up in Sacramento.
I have not. I was supposed to run it in 2020, and then
God,
we
COVID
all know
ruined
what happened.
everything.
Yeah,
It really does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Derailed.
So didn't happen.
That's a big one. I know that's a big one up there. That's the one that Addie Zarena ran, and she had her code brown. My brother's been up there for that one. That's a big one.
I've
So
I've
yeah, I'm not
volunteered at it
surprised.
before, which is why I was
cool.
like, oh, it would be fun to run it.
What was your job as a volunteer?
Water or garbage cans of noon.
Garbage cans of
Yeah,
noon.
that's how they fill up the cups on a race course. Is that they use garbage
They
cans
fill a garbage can
with
up?
a hose,
I can
and then
I can confirm.
there's like bags of powdered noon, and you just dump it in.
No way. I've never
Oh
seen
yeah,
this.
it's what happens at 4 a.m. on race course.
I did that with
And
the
so what,
Gatorade
you just
Yeah,
on the
and
Boston
then you just
course.
scoop it.
yeah, and you scoop it and you
Okay.
dump it in, and then you use like a broomstick almost to like, yeah.
Fancy, right?
I need I did not know this. So you did that in Boston too, Erica.
Well,
so is that
well,
all
hers
the
is harder
wait,
because she had powder. We had like the super concentrated drink mix, like it was already liquid form. So we were just pouring it in the garbage cans. But she actually had to do the work and like mix it with the
so
That's fun.
your job, you were like one of the wicked witches of the West or something. You had the
Oh,
broom
yeah.
and your
We were cracking up, like the whole thing.
there needs to be a race on Halloween, a marathon where they do that and all the aid station people are dressed up as witches.
That's fun. Oh, that's great.
I never knew that. I learned something new every day. I did not know. And so that's, I'm guessing, all the cups on the table, Erica, when you were the water person at the Boston Marathon, those were all in a trash can just before, so they're absolute garbage.
No, the cups. No, the
You
cups
have a
are
pitcher
fresh.
that you fill from the garbage. Use a pitcher and
Mhm.
fill it from the garbage can, and then you pour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So since the water went from a pitcher to the cup was never in the garbage, so it's not really trash. All right.
We had to keep.
I'm just giving-
We had to keep covering up the garbage cans though, because people would try to throw their cups in them, and you're like, no, it's not trash. It's
Oh.
not trash. Like, had to keep stopping people. Like stand in front, like block it. It was yeah.
Yeah, you throw your trash on the ground, not in the trash can.
Basically, like we all had rakes. Like that was our job after the waves of runners went through. We'd rake up all the stuff, clean up, and just try not to get the cups in the giant trash bins full of Gatorade.
Oh man, never knew this. Never knew. You didn't even tell me last year, or at least
Sorry.
if you did, I wasn't listening. But
Fun fact.
I don't listen often. So, wow. All right, let's talk about then. Let's go to Chicago. Let's talk about Chicago. You've teased us twice now. I am excited for these stories. I love these stories, and not that I hope for failure or for code browns. I love the recovery after and the comeback, and I think you got a comeback coming up this fall. So
I hope so. So after my first marathon, I was like, I'm never running one again, right? Because that's what, if you have a bad first marathon, like, I'm never doing it. And then, a couple years goes by, I ran probably 8 more half marathons, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do another one. And then my second one happened. I was like, fueling, that was the thing that I messed up. Like my fueling was off. I didn't fuel enough. Like, I'm going to fix it next time. So Chicago, I'm working with a coach. We had a pretty good training cycle. I had run more for Chicago than I did for either of the other two in trainings. I felt better. It was the first time I had ever done like true speed work, and nutrition was a lot better. But that day in Chicago was a hard day. It was very hot and very humid, at least for this California girl in the Bay Area. It's not
It was
humid.
for a New Hampshire girl too. It was not just you. That was
Good.
a bad
You were in
day.
the same race,
I
right?
was at the same race, but I'm going to let her take it away. But I'm just confirming her story. She is correct. It sucked.
So my coach that I was working with at the time lived in Florida. And so she kept looking at the weather and the humidity and being like, you should be fine, based on dew point, whatever, whatever. And I'm in California where 30%, like in the Bay Area, where I was in the East Bay, it's very dry. We're usually like maybe 15% humidity, 18% humidity. Like it just doesn't get humid there. I was used to very dry heat. So I can go out in 90 degrees and run. It's not humid. And then the day came in Chicago and I was like, I don't know about this. Like it's going to be really humid at 80 plus degrees. And I'm going to be there when it's the middle of the day, like 80 plus degrees. And yeah, I loved every second. The first half, I was like living my best life. Like I enjoyed every second of it so much. And I came close to a PR in the half marathon, which you never want to do in the first half of a marathon, ever. Like you don't PR your half in the first half of a marathon. But I was just having so much fun. I'd never, like, it's a major, right? You have the crowds. It was everything about it. I loved every second. Your watch isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing because you're going under buildings. So you can't even be like,
Yeah, I heard that one.
oh my gosh, I'm going
It's-
way too fast. You're like, YOLO, I'm having fun.
It literally screws up your GPS in the first like half mile of the race. And you're like, whatever. Looks like I'm winging it.
Which I knew. My coach told me to know that going ahead of time. But I was like, I'm in the right corral. If I run with my corral, it'll be fine. It was not fine. So yeah, I don't know. The second half of the race, I don't even really remember. Like once you go out and are coming back into downtown, I don't remember much of anything after that. I just kind of blacked out and did it. I was also 8 months postpartum with my first daughter, which, was a really maybe not the best decision I've ever made. But I think it was really good for me emotionally being a new mom to have something to train for and to have a goal outside of
Absolutely.
being mom in that part of my life. I think that was really helpful. Doing it as a full marathon, maybe should have done a half at 8 months. But, hindsight's 2020. And so I went, my best friend's husband happened to put his name into the Chicago lottery the same year. We didn't really talk about it. We were at Thanksgiving in 2016, I guess, so almost a year before. And I was like, Kyle, I just did this really thing that may be really dumb. And he was like, what'd you do?
And at the time, you're pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At the time, I'm like 7.5 months pregnant. I'm like really pregnant. I was like, I think I did. We'd run a couple of half marathons together. Neither of our spouse. So my best friend doesn't run. My husband doesn't run. But, we had run some half marathons and stuff together. And so I was like, Kyle, I did this thing that's probably really dumb. He was like, what'd you do? And I was like, I put my name into the Chicago lottery. And he was like, oh my God, I did too. Like, wait, what? And then we both got in, which was crazy. But we'd run enough races together that we didn't like actually run together, even though we were relatively similar paces.
Sure.
And I remember passing him at like mile 23. There was a bunch of tables with oranges and stuff on them. And we were just in it, both of us were having terrible days and looked at each other. What were we thinking? Why did we do this? Like, this was so dumb. And then we finished, like 40 minutes later, or whatever it was. And then I got the flu the next day on the flight. Like I was flying home. So I was like, that's why it was such a bad day.
Oh,
You-
no.
You were sick and you didn't know it.
By that night, I had no voice. I couldn't talk like at all. And I was like, oh, I bet it's just, people get sick after marathons all the time. It's fine. I'm just so excited. Like I did this marathon. We were at one of the pizza restaurants, whatever. And then I got up the next day and like had to fly home. And it was like full on fever, chills. I was like sleeping on my backpack trying to my husband's going through the airport trying to find me Dayquil. It was awful. It's like,
Yeah, that does
And you
not.
probably had a little baby with you too. Did you take
we
the
did
baby?
not, no. So she stayed with my in-laws, which I was really glad for. It would have been really hard to navigate with an 8-month-old. So
Man, our parents are great. Thank God for them.
so good.
Yes. And they stayed home for a couple of days with like a 8-month-old baby. Amazing.
They love her. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So wow. I know the struggle and the juggling. And we were talking about juggling, right? And we'll get back to you got future Chicago plans. But juggling with kids, how do you continue to run with having little ones in the house and having to juggle already enough? How do you get the running?
When they were little, we did lots of stroller runs, like lots of stroller runs. When my youngest was like 6 months old, like when she could go in the bob, like sit in the regular bob without all the attachments every day, because that was when we were home all the time too with the shelter in place. Like I think every day we went for a run because we need to go. We need to go. I need to get out of the house.
Outside.
So we're going to go for a run because why not? And then even when I was working full-time teaching, it was a lot of stroller runs after school. I would pick up my daughter from preschool and I'd go on a run, or accepting that I wasn't going to get maybe as many miles as I wanted. Like, okay, if I go right now, I have 20 minutes, I'm going to just go. Or I'd run their empty stroller to their school. It used to be about a mile away. So I'd run the empty stroller to the school, load them up in the stroller, and then run them home because that was the way I was going to get it in for the day. And it was like, all right, 2 miles is better than nothing. So I'm going to get the 2 miles in.
Right.
And I'm going to run that
do what you gotta
stroller
do.
looking like a crazy person.
It's so hard to get it with little kids. I'll tell you, like I struggle. And this year, my boys just turned 2. I plan on getting them out in the double stroller. I took Adeline a couple times. But the last time I put Adeline in a running stroller, Erica, you remember the 5K? You remember her face?
She was not
In the finish line
amused.
photo?
She was like,
Yep.
"What are you doing, Dad?"
I'm
She's like 6,
bored.
right?
Arms crossed.
She is now, but
She
she
just
was...
turned 7, but she was 3.5 in that photo. I'm like, yep, running is done. Running is done with her. She is not amused anymore.
That
She
picture is
wouldn't even wear.
hilarious. I hope Ashley put it on your fridge or something. This is what Daddy and
I
Adeline
should
do together.
You know what? I need to print that. We got pictures on the stairway. What are they? They're not like they're canvasy or something, right? And I should blow that one up and make it like a 8x10.
Do
of
it.
That.
Oh my
Just
God.
that face.
Love it.
Jen, I'll send you the photo later and I'll repost it on the gram for
It's
everyone.
silly.
But yeah,
It's really
I
silly.
used to like she would get dressed in like running clothes too for these runs. And this one, she didn't want to get out of her dress. She's like, nope, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, oh, my little Tom girl is no longer a Tom girl. And she would wear dresses every day. And now she's a cheerleader and she loves Wednesday Addams. So yeah, it's something, whatever phase or fad they're in, it's over a couple months later. It's on to
That's
a new
what I was
one.
going to say about the stroller runs too, especially at like 3.5. Like you just keep doing it. Or I can remember like one run in particular will probably stand out to me forever because I tried to convince my daughter, like if we're like, I wanted to do a long run. And so my trick for long runs was to always run to a park. So we would run to a playground. She would get to go out and play for like half an hour. And then I would bring a ton of snacks and she would just eat the whole way back. And on this
That's
one
really
particular,
smart.
all the time I did, that was like my number one stroller. Like if I wanted to go for more than, a couple miles, that was what I did every time. And on this one run, for whatever reason, she was maybe 2, she was not having it. And we were like 3, we were closer to the park than we were to my car. So we were at least 2 miles away. And she screamed the entire time back to my car. I'm like on a trail, like a paved bike trail with the stroller.
Oh no.
And I mean, at one point I just put in my headphones and I was like, she's fine. She's buckled in. This is what we're doing. I got to get her to the car. There's no other choice. But like, like all the looks that people were giving me, like going the opposite direction. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It was like 20 minutes of screaming.
Oh.
Your strategy you do, I actually have done quite a bit with her after, because we would do the bike rides too. And I would have her on a seat in the back. And I remember we would do like 20-mile bike rides someday on rail trails, whether it was dirt or paved. But halfway, I know halfway was a point where we can stop, walk around the grassy area. She could go play in the playground and all that. And then ride back. Sometimes we'd be getting late. I'm like, we need to go. It's going to get dark.
It's time. Let's go.
Yeah, it's time. Let's go. Get back in the bike seat. Come on. So I started taking my boys biking last year. They're a little too small. This year it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think I'll get a lot more miles on the bike this year with them.
What do you do for 2 on the bike?
I got, my cousin had 2 kids, fairly close in age, and they're too big for it now. So they gave me a bike trailer with 2. So my daughter was the seat that connects to the bike frame, and I loved it. It was great. Even though she's staring right at my back, she'd always shake like this.
Oh, man.
Right?
Tilt you over.
And then the bike would tilt over, and she thought, she'd sometimes say, "Let's go faster." So if she did this, she thought it was going to be faster, but really it was like, "No, stop! Don't do that so much. You're going to tilt us over." Funny story. One time she wanted to see me do a trick, and I have no bike tricks, but I thought, you know what I can do? I can do this thing where I hit only the front brake, and I can kind of lift the back wheel up, and I can spin the bike around.
Sounds terrifying.
And so I said, okay. I go, okay, I'll do this. Not with her on the bike, though, of course. So I put her on the truck bed. And when I did it, I went too far over and I had to bail out of my clipped in shoes. And I kind of throw the bike under my feet. And I go, that's not how it's done.
And there's
This
the
is
trick.
why you're in the. This is why
And
you're in the
there was
truck,
this, there were these 2 old couple who were walking and they were looking at me like, what a loser. What a loser. Some guy trying to act cool in front of his kids and be a BMX X Games star. So, yeah, no more running in the stroller with her, but she will go biking with me and she will go skiing with me, and the skiing is a blast. So I don't know if Northern California, you got some good skiing in Tahoe, but
Yeah, we miss Tahoe. Now down here it's not as, this winter there's been a lot of snow, but even the closest place that people, or the main place people go, is still 7 or 8 hours away in Mammoth. So
Oof.
we're not doing that.
have you ever been out east? I know you never done a run outside of California besides Chicago. Have you ever come out east?
I have. It's been a long time. I have lots of family in the Midwest, so I usually end up there. But I've been to New York and DC a couple of times. DC, Hilton Head. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to come to New Hampshire. Got to come to Boston. Do the Boston Marathon one day
qualify.
too.
Got to get there.
Are you there?
No.
Are you close?
We got a lot of
me neither.
fundraising tips if you ever
No
decide
way.
to go that way. That's how I got in. So.
Erica has a lot of fundraising tips. I've never fundraised
I'm
for it. Not yet.
Fundraising for Chicago this year because I put my name into the lottery and then I didn't get it, but I had already gotten so excited about doing it again.
Okay.
And
Right.
had in my head started dreaming oh, it'll be so fun to bring the kids this year. They're old enough that it'll be fun. It won't be it'll be chaotic, but it'll be more fun. I want to see what I can do. In this past June, I ran a pretty big PR at the Rock and Roll San Diego Marathon, which is
Awesome.
a very hilly marathon. And so I want to see what I can do on a flat course. I want to see what I can do on that course again.
Yes. If you can rock a hilly course, you're going to destroy Chicago.
I think I just got so excited about doing Chicago again that I was like, all right, I got to do it. I'm just going to fundraise. It's going to be great.
That's going to be way less of a commitment for you. So, Boston's at least 10K. And
Yeah.
what do you have to do? Maybe
25.
two? 25. So
2 or
there you go.
25. So yeah, doable.
Excellent.
It's good training. Good training for fundraising. Fundraise training there.
Plus, we got a lot of tips
you
in some of our older episodes, so you can look those up.
Go back
Yeah,
and
if you
listen.
go
Good
to
stuff, good
if you go to some of the
Not
old
that I'm
Boston Marathon ones,
Promoting ourselves, but
we were fresh then. Be careful. We were fresh. We were still
Good
raw.
stuff.
We were a
It's
little
good
raw at
stuff.
this. Yeah. No, Erica has some great tips for anyone
happy to
who
help
wants
if
to
you need any help.
fundraise. I'd just say slide in her DMs like Jen slid into mine. So
well, she slid into mine too, so
Yeah.
she knows how to do it. That's how.
I don't
that's how
know
we got
what this
connected
is
in the
saying
first
about
place.
me.
No. I
tried to slide in-
Instagram first, and that's how we oh hey, I see you've been looking at my stuff. What's going on?
I tried to slide into everyone's DMs. So, and I'm like, hey, you want to come on the pod? And if they say yes, it's awesome. If they ignore me, I might message them again in a few weeks or something. But
Doesn't matter.
I'm really happy you did. So while we're on Instagram, let's talk about your Instagram, because your Instagram is filled with amazing content. You have
Thanks.
you got all these posts and these reels. You got tips, you got strength training tips, recovery tips, motivational things. You have gut health tips. Let's talk a little bit about your Instagram and what you try to do with your Instagram account.
So I try to part of it is just a real account of like being a runner, right? So I think today I posted about how my speed run this morning was not great. But then with like the coach side of it, so I'm not just going to vomit about how my run sucked, because you can find a lot of that. Like that's easy to find. But also like, okay, so what does it mean? And how maybe you could think about it if you're a runner and you had a run that was really awful, like you could think about it like, you know, where does it go for you, and things to think about to be helpful. So I like I'm a teacher. I'm an elementary school teacher. I have a master's in teaching. So my heart is in a place of just helping and teaching, whether that's somebody I coach or just the general somebody who finds my Instagram and is stalking or following.
I really appreciate posts like that though, because you get the relatability factor, but then you're also educating at the same time. So if I'm scrolling and if I can learn something and be like, all right, this doesn't have to be a bad run every time. Like, what can I do differently to help correct it? So that is such a good resource to have. It's very good. I'm glad you do that. It's a lot of work too, those kind of reels and stuff. Ugh, you guys with the social media.
I'm trying to learn it. It's you get. You're just like Alex. I think Alex Larson, a nutritionist we had a while ago. You give so much good content, and if you go beyond just looking at the photo and you read,
Gotta read the caption,
and,
everybody.
and you read what you write, like it's great stuff. I'm looking at one right now. What to do when a workout seems overwhelming, and just the content you have is great. How much do you prep ahead of time for your Instagram stuff? Do you have a bunch of things and then you kind of like spread it out throughout the week, or do you kind of just do everything one thing at a time every day? Because that's kind of the way I do it right now. I'm once a day. I'm trying to prepare. I'm trying to prep, and I get all my reels and the drafts, and then just filter them out every day. But how do you?
Well,
do it?
I used to do that where I would just like put things up, and then I started trying to batch content, so at least like thinking about what I wanted to post or like what could be helpful. But then it still would end up being like, okay, random stuff, or not getting a post today, or not whatever. I've recently started putting something on my blog, so like a longer content. And then, so like last week I talked about finding like the right pace to do different workouts at. And then I funneled that into the posts that were like the more educational, or the the ones that have lots of pictures, or helpful tips like that. And then it's still me, like it's just me. I don't have other people that do the social media. So like today's post was just organic, like how I was feeling after my run. So it was a bad run. And then it was like the self-coaching that I had, right? So instead of, I used to have a bad run and then be cranky all day. So like, okay, what am I coaching myself through? Because if I'm coaching myself through that, somebody else could probably use that too. So take it there. Just go that extra step.
Where can people find your blog?
I'm Miss Adventures of a Marathoner. So it's missadventuresofamarathoner.com/blog.
What is best run year ever?
Best run year ever is my virtual training club. So it's a training, like you would have a normal training club. It's just all virtual. So there's base training plans and then race specific training plans. You can kind of mix and match and pick and pull. And then I'm there to help figure out how to blend it all together and where all the things match. I do it with a couple of other women who kind of have taken on leadership positions as well. And so there's like educational posts in terms of running. And then there's community building. Right now we have a fun bingo challenge. So that's all runners focused, like run 4 times this week, finish your run before 6 a.m. I don't know. There's a bunch of just random things like that on a bingo card that we made. We've had challenges. We just started this year. So I think one of the challenges last month was to eat 30 different fruits and veggies in a week. And then one of the other ones was to track your fuel. So like how was what you were eating during the run making you feel? Because we had talked about all kinds of things related to run fueling. We had a RD that specializes in endurance sport in women come on and do like an hour-long call. So kind of each month has a different focus. April, we're going to be talking about mindset, like performance mindset. We have a performance coach for athletes that's going to do a call for us, I think, at the beginning of April. So all things.
Very cool.
Does someone need to be one of your athletes to be part of this, or can anyone be part of Best Run
Anybody
Here
can.
Ever?
This is separate from one-on-one coaching. So I do have some carryover between the two, but it's a separate, so you're not paying for the one-on-one coaching. It's not quite the same level of attention. I'm not going to be checking in with you, a couple times a week like I would with my one-on-one athletes, but you do have access to me for questions and things like that. And then you also get the group.
No, I really love it, Erica. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Best run year ever.
It has this whole entire. I'm showing it's a podcast, so you guys can't see this. But I looked at this the other day, and I'm like, this is really cool. So, guys, check it out. If you go to Jen's Instagram and you just go to the bio and hit the link, it will bring you to one of the links in there, and kind of like a link tree. You'll see her name is Jen Vickery, not Jen Steele.
Just ignore that.
It's kind of funny.
We talked
I
about
We
thought
talked
I
about it
changed
earlier.
Well, there you go. There's
But
some
yeah, no-
constructive criticism. Not even that. Yeah, you're good.
That's where you can find all her stuff. So her Instagram is really cool, and I'm glad that you slid into our DMs, and I'm glad that we found each other. This is awesome. There's some awesome content you have here. So guys, check it out. Read the captions. I feel like we kind of skipped over your run coaching thing, though. We did talk about it a little bit, but like,
Is there anything you want to add?
yeah, I feel like we skipped over it. So let's talk about, how people can find you and what the process is when you talk to them.
And like, what do you get when you do one-on-one coaching? I mean, it is kind of a little bit self-explanatory, but I'm sure there's so much more to it that we want to know.
You get coaching that's one-on-one.
No, I know, but like you do your free, you're free with Best Run Year Ever. But what else? Like, why train with you? for lack of a better.
And maybe more in general, what's the benefit of having a run coach? Because
There you go.
you're a run coach, but you have a run coach of your own.
I am a run coach. And I actually find that most run coaches do work with coaches because
hear
we
that
see
too,
the
yeah.
value in it. I think that a big part of it is just having a second pair of eyes on training plans and having somebody else look at it. And it can happen one of two ways depending on the type of runner you are and the season you're in. Either tell you, like, pour belief into you, which is definitely where I'm at. Because I didn't run super consistently before I had kids, I'm increasingly getting faster after having kids. And so I look at workouts that my coach writes for me and I'm like, I can't. I've never done that before. I've never run that pace before, ever. I don't know that that's possible. And so like having somebody who I can tell that to, and that's not like my best running friend that's like, come on, try it. But like somebody that actually knows
Right.
the data and my fitness that can like, these are all the reasons why you can do it. And on the other hand, also help people scale back sometimes. I have some runners who are like, but I'm just going to go out and do like 3 hours this weekend. Like, no, you're absolutely
Why?
not. Like, that's not a good plan. And here's the reasons why. Or like, these are the reasons why you shouldn't just copy your friend's training plan, because the last time you did that, I'm reminding you that you got injured. And so we have the plan that we have so that you don't get injured, so that you remember to spend the time doing the strength training and the mobility, and so that you can actually show up on race day and give yourself a chance of that time that you want. But if you're injured, you don't get that. And so I think depending on the type of person you are and the phase of life you're in, like that's the biggest reason to have a coach. I also think it can help if you're feeling really bored. You tend to think the same things when you're doing your own training. So have somebody give you different workouts or think of things differently or put things in a different order or just any random little thing, I think can help a lot of times when you're not feeling like burnt out, like you need to stop running, but you're just kind of feeling bored, which happens.
Oh, it's so useful. It's just so useful having a coach. I need to get another coach. You hire. Here we go.
I didn't really realize this until this past year, but I love that running coaches have their own running coaches. And they all seem to be pretty level-headed. They're not like, I know more than you, I'm a run coach too. No, that's not going to work. They listen. Every run coach we have had on, the three, have their own run coaches. I love that. That's so cool. I don't think I've seen that in other sports outside of running, biking, triathlon.
I think it's one of those things that's really unique to the running world, right? Or triathlon, like endurance sport, I guess is the way to put it, right? It's
Yes,
not the
absolutely.
same in other arenas. But I think part of it is because so much of it is just having an eyes on your plan and somebody, it's so specific to know your goal versus in a competitive, where you're competing against other people, there's so much strategy that like having experience in certain arenas will help you more, or like having this plan is going to help you more. But with running, it's so just focused on you and what works for you and narrowing that down. Like even fuel, I talk to my athletes all the time and I'm like, I have a lot of guidelines I'm going to send you. And then I'm going to send you a tracking sheet because it's going to be different for everybody. What works for me might not work for you. And the gels that I like, you might hate. And you might be able to eat peanut butter and I can't eat peanut butter the morning of a long run. And like, there's so much that's just like, what do you like and what works for you, that you just got to figure it out and then know it.
So you said the word endurance athletes. How can I talk you into triathlon, and how can Erica talk you into an ultra marathon?
Well, Erica's job's already done because I'm pretty sure I'm going to do one in January.
Yay!
Yeah, whoa!
Sold.
Breaking news.
I did a lot of work trying to get that out of her. So.
What ultra marathon are you going to do?
I like to joke that all good running decisions are made because a friend convinces you to do something. So,
Obviously, yes.
Absolutely.
One of my good friends who I run a bunch with down here is turning 40 and wants to run. There's a ultra on Catalina Island in January. And so I think that's it. I'm not ready to commit to 50 miles, but 50K.
Perfect.
Okay. So I know we're friends now. That's the deal. We're friends, and I'm going to convince you into doing one because you're in San Diego. It's not that far of a trip for you. It's a bigger one for us. Let's go to Mexico and do the Cabo Blanco Ultra Marathon. Did I say that right, Erica? Copper Canyons in Mexico.
He's the one with the good Spanish.
Yeah, he did. There's an ultra marathon in Mexico.
That's the Born to
in
Run,
the middle of nowhere, Mexico.
Marathon,
yes,
right? Yeah.
That's the one. The book Born to Run. Yes, let's do that one. You coming with us?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how the first one goes.
She didn't say no.
Eric, I'll do it if you wear jeans.
No, you're gonna.
No. If Doozer can do it, you can do it. Come on.
No, I want to do that one. It can't be that far from San Diego.
Well, it depends on where in Mexico it is. Like I'm going to Cancun next week, and it's the East Coast, so it's like a 4.5, almost 5 hour flight.
Yeah, no, I know it's closer to you than obviously that spot. It's in northern Mexico, a series of massive canyons in the Sierra Madre. I can't say that word. Mountains.
They're supposed to be bigger than the Grand Canyon, correct? Like the canyon down there, it's bigger.
I think so.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is.
I didn't realize the race was still happening.
They had it this year, I guess.
It just happened the other week. All right.
We have an inside scoop.
Sounds like it.
Jen, it is more south of Phoenix and Albuquerque.
It's like in the middle.
It's a day trip, Jen.
Day trip.
Getting there is a day trip. Getting back is a day trip.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, we're going to stay there. Of course. We're going to have a blast. We're going to do it. Jen's going to do it with us. I love it. Friends talk friends into doing crazy, stupid
things. That
is
true.
We're so off track. All right, Jen, this has been fun. We've fallen off. We've gone all over the map here. I don't even know what direction we're supposed to go in now if I go back and look at the notes. But I find a random photo in your Instagram, and I go creeping down there, and I try to find, something. And unfortunately, the screenshot, there's no date, so I can't remember the day. But I found a photo of you, and you are underneath this gigantic tree that has a big hole in it. It looks like you could crawl inside the tree. It also looks like the tree might fall on top of you any moment now. What's going on in this photo?
So that picture is actually really old, like older than the photo is. And it's because it's like circa around the time that I ran Nike, the marathon. But I don't have very many pictures from that time. I wasn't documenting things. We didn't really have cameras on our phones that were very good. And so it's like a picture from them. I actually think I'm wearing like my finisher's jacket from the Nike women's half. And that was actually on a hike in Central California. that my husband and I did. So it was supposed to be a hike out to a waterfall. We never like it wasn't a great waterfall, but that was where we ended up hanging out and having lunch.
And a big reason I picked this photo, and I'm not going to read it to everyone because one, they don't want to hear me do it, but it was the caption you wrote.
So I was trying to scroll and find it as you were saying that.
Oh,
What did I say?
guys, you guys got to find, well, it was running base and it was about what you kind of just told me. You got to go find the photo, guys, and you got to 1, like it, 2, comment, 3, share, boost her Instagram up there. But really, read the captions, guys. She wrote some great captions on all of her photos. She has some great photos, some great things. Oh, here is a close second place.
It's not coming.
A bush?
I see a bush. Oh yeah, you went like in the vault. People are never going to scroll back long enough to find.
Oh,
things.
he digs deep for these.
That's
Yep.
from my old house before we moved, so it's like a solid 2.5 years old.
What is it? A TLC song? Cause that creep. Yeah, creep.
At least you're honest about it, man.
I try to do the research. I just unfortunately left all my notes at home, but I saved the screenshots.
I like it.
Perfect.
All right, Eham, your turn.
My question, there's no need to panic. So we have our own Spotify playlist that we like to ask our guests if they'd like to pick a song. Could be anything that pumps you up, that's inspirational, that you like to listen to while working out or at any time, really. We know a lot of people don't like to listen to music while they work out or run because, yeah, it clarifies your mind. But would you like to add something to our list?
I am a huge proponent of listening to music while I run, and actually, it's been shown to lower your rate of perceived exertion on really hard runs. So,
Ooh, I like that. Learning something.
Right now, it's really silly, but my favorite like speedwork song is The Greatest. What is it? I just pulled mine up. The Greatest Show, like the title track to the musical.
Yes.
It's like lots of people clapping, really strong
You mean
bass, like.
The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Show
Absolutely.
from
That's
The
a
Greatest Showman, yeah.
Yeah. That's such a good movie. I watched that movie like, you know this. You have kids and they see a movie, they want to watch
Yes,
it every
all the
day.
time.
Every
Right.
day. Luckily, that one never got old. I love it every time we watch that movie. The songs are great. The acting's great. I actually
Hugh
liked Zac
Jackman.
Efron
Yeah.
in it. I thought he was good. Jackman was great. What's the girl's name? Zendaya?
Zendaya, yeah.
Zendaya. Oh, I love
Zendaya?
her. I adore her. Oh.
The whole movie was great. It was funny too at the same
It's good.
time.
It's just a good all around.
Fun
It's a great
fact
movie.
about
That song does get you pumped up.
that song. That is a wonderful song as it is, but Panic at the Disco did a version of it too.
I'm gonna
I
have to
really
find
like
that.
one too.
Yeah, that sounds like
It's
right
good.
up
I
my
mean,
alley.
It's a whole different vibe, but it's a great vibe nonetheless. So
It's like Panic at the Disco covering what is that Frozen song? Like it's the same idea.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great.
It's
Yeah.
like on the Frozen 2 soundtrack. Like what I can't remember the title. And blanking on like
I've
the
heard it
title
before,
track.
but I can't think of it either.
Two
Come
little
on, you're the one
kids.
with kids
We
too,
listen to
Newt.
All the Frozen.
From the second
Yes.
one,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking it up because I can't not.
do you want to build a snowman?
Can you imagine
Definitely
if
not
Panic
that
at the Disco did that song out of all? Do you want to build a snowman?
You know what my favorite song from Frozen is the one when Olaf sings, is it Warm or Sunny or something like that?
In summer.
In summer.
Oh, I love
But
Olaf, though.
Kristoff, Kristoff,
Ah.
I love Kristoff's being like a little wise guy, like, I'm going to tell him. And then Anna's like, don't you dare.
Oh, that's so good.
You were looking for a song though, I think.
Oh, it was Into the Unknown. I found it.
Is that the one that goes like, like with
Yeah.
the singing and the notes that I absolutely cannot hit?
Yep.
So
And then
that is
Panic
a
at the
good song,
Disco
though.
covers it.
Jen, this was awesome. Jen, I want to give you a chance to like pump your own tires. Tell people where they can find you if they want, running, coaching tips or advice, or to be part of Best Run Year Ever, because I actually think that's cool. I really like the concept of Best Run Year Ever. I think that's
Thanks.
great.
I'm super excited. We just opened, or we're about to open enrollment for April. We only open enrollment for like a week out of the month. Otherwise, we really try and build community and help people get to know each other and cheer each other on and support each other. So it's super fun. If you want information on Best Run Year Ever, it is bestrunyearever.com. And if you want to find me, like Eric mentioned, I am Misadventures of a Marathoner. And you can find a free 2-week training plan, strength plan, nutrition plan, all in one at my website, misadventuresofaMarathoner.com/shop.
How do you come up with that name?
You know the little
Tongue twister of a name.
You know the little graph that's like progress isn't linear and it like goes up and down and like goes over time.
Yeah.
It kind of started from there. Like, yes, I'm going to run marathons, but like it's definitely progress is not going to be linear. So kind of along the way. And I liked the alliteration.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, Jen, we've kept you for so long, but we want to thank you for your time and for sharing all that knowledge with us and all of your great stories. So you're welcome to come back anytime. I can't wait to hear about how Chicago goes for you. And we're just looking forward to hearing more from you.
Let's do a little Instagram live hit after Chicago.
Yeah, that sounds super fun. I'm so down.
Absolutely. No, this is great. I know it's late here, but it's probably dinner time at your house, and the kids are probably like, Mom, the meatloaf, Mom, the meatloaf.
It's way more Midwest than I do, but yeah, it's time.
Yeah. No, this worked out great on the timing of everything because we're East Coast, you're West Coast. It worked out great. So I really thank you again for sliding into our DMs and for reaching out, and we'll see you in Mexico when we do the Cabo Blanco 50 miler.
Thank you so much. It was so fun.
Everybody, Jen Steele on the On the Runs podcast. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen, for coming on and talking to us and sharing your awesome experience with those firefighters there.
Firefighters in tuxedos.
I have to say I'm a little bit jealous. That sounds like an epic race, especially with a Tiffany necklace. They give you a Tiffany necklace instead
I'm not
of a
that
medal.
Jealous. I'm not.
No?
No.
You wouldn't do that race? No?
No, I would. I'm just not that jealous of the award or the firefighters in tuxedos. I probably would play it up a little bit though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So maybe us guys will get a cool race where we get a mini Stanley Cups or something. There's my head still on the
A
Bruins.
mini Stanley Cup. Oh, that's cute.
Anyways, that was great, Jennifer. Thanks for coming on. That was so much fun. I know that was a long time coming. We were talking for quite a while. I think you even talked to her in the fall, and then we finally did the interview, and it's been weeks. It's been over a month.
It did take us a while to connect initially, but I'm glad we finally did, and it's about time you're getting this episode out.
Yeah,
I'm blaming him because,
Well,
yeah, I do a
Austin
whole
and
lot.
sickness and all that.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
You can tell my voice
for
is
us.
still not really back.
It's better than it was.
Yeah.
It's much better.
But we've been talking for over 2 hours now, and this is what has kind of happened. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to limit my talking, save it for the podcast,
Right.
Just do a lot of texting or whatever. And
There you go.
I'm like thinking podcast voice. Need to get my podcast voice
You need to
back
start
and running.
drinking green tea. Isn't green tea and
Oh, you
honey
think-
and lemon or something?
Honey,
good for
no,
you?
honey makes sense. Green doesn't really.
Oh. Well, tea with honey.
I do like lemon tea. I think lemon would be.
Well, there you go. Just add some honey.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, I usually just drink the free tea at work, like hot water in the thing. I do a dab of cold water, and then I get one of the tea bags, which is typically, I always go for the lemon. Unless there's no lemon, then I'll go green or black.
Do you want to know the weird drink concoction that Brandon and I will drink when we're sick?
Hmm.
It's very strange, but
Go.
delicious. So we will take a packet of Emergency.
Yes, I know it. Yeah.
We will heat up water in the microwave because we don't have a kettle or anything, but we'll heat up that, add a packet of Emergency. I will add lemon juice and some honey, and it makes a delicious drink
Mm.
because it's like an orange flavored, so it's like a citrusy Emergency packet. And I don't know if it kills any of the good stuff in there, but you get your vitamins, your vitamin C, your zinc.
So it's a process. It is
It's not as difficult as
Yeah,
it sounds, but it's really good.
you do need a kettle. Like I got a kettle pot, and I would because I said you have to boil water for the key to life.
Oh, stop.
For the key to life, but it was a process because I have to boil it, then let it cool down, and if I let it boil too long, it takes a while to cool down.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
But this is just to plus like the warm liquid just like opens up your sinuses and helps you get rid of the
Yeah.
stuff. So
Speaking of sinuses, so my chiropractor's been doing all this sinus work on me.
Yeah, that's right.
He'll he kind of like He'll ask me to breathe, turn my head and breathe heavy, and he'll shake my right here. He'll move everything around, and then he'll
Interesting.
do it here, and he'll tap. But he'll take his fingers and he'll pop, 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 pop. He keeps tapping. It's kind of
Does he
interesting,
get it
but
flowing? Your sinus
it's supposed to help get it flowing. But luckily for me, but not for him to see how well it's really working, is the mucus and all that stuff. So
Oh, stop it with the mucus. Katie hates that. She was like, tell him to stop saying that word.
it's all kind of gone away. I'm just trying to recover like fully with the voice. Sometimes I have like a dry cough and but I am feeling a lot better. But wow, this one took me out for a while. And the chiropractor, it's just the stuff he's doing, and the cracking of my neck is really what like opens up the nostrils.
Okay.
And he's gotten some good cracks. And I say, like, those have been chunky. And he goes, oh yeah, well that's because of your sinuses. I had cracks. Today he made the comment like, we're not really getting any cracks with my back when he tries to twist me, but like the neck cracks are like they're chunky. And he goes,
so
yeah, well
weird.
that's because of your sinuses and everything. So
That's strange.
yeah, but this was that was a great interview with Jen. She was a blast. Would love to go out and visit her in the West Coast. San
There's a
Diego
lot of
I hear
cool
is great.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out
We've
there.
met so many cool people because of this podcast, and the best is the ones who reach out to us, like Jen. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're all the best, even the ones we reach out to. So we need to talk about last Thursday night.
Yes, we do.
Last Thursday night. We'll talk about it more next week when we have her on. But
Yeah.
no, let's save it because we're gonna talk to her tomorrow. And we'll have the story tomorrow about last Thursday night. But last Thursday night, we went to a Boston Marathon medal celebration. That was awesome.
All I can say is, Lori, you are the sweetest human on the planet. That's all I'm going to say. It's making me tear. I don't know if you can see it just thinking about it, but we will fill you in. But just had to give you a shout out.
Oh, you really are tearing.
It's so easy to do.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
tearing.
I'm a very emotional person.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, moving on.
What else can we say to make you cry right now?
Oh, if I watch like anything on TV where the characters are crying, I'm gone.
Armageddon.
Disney movies.
Armageddon.
Up.
You know when
That one actually didn't do it for me.
That's one of the only ones I've ever cried in. Come on.
What did I? Oh, do you watch The Last of Us?
No.
Oh, we already talked about this. Lena's on my side, but the what the hell is his name? Ron Swanson.
Never heard of it.
Nick
Must
Offerman.
not be that good.
No, the Nick Offerman episode, I bawled my eyes out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
You know what I want to see? And my mom watched it this past week, and it has been on my list, but I want to see the Guardians of the Galaxy.
You've never seen any of them?
No,
or the new one?
I went on.
What?
Yeah, I went.
I love Guardians. They're
I want to
so
see
good.
it. It seems like an awesome epic movie with some like great music too.
Dude, it's fantastic.
I went on the roller coaster at Disney. It was awesome. It was awesome. So much that we had to wait quite a while.
Yeah.
That wait was worth it. And we even bought the speed pass for that and still probably waited 40 minutes.
Oh.
That was worth it. With the Avatar ride at Disney, we waited 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was the longest we waited for any ride. Everyone says this is the ride to go on. Not worth it at all.
Oh.
Not at all. Cool ride, neat experience. Not worth it. Not
for 2.5 hours.
No,
or whatever,
not even for 45
Nah.
minutes, I think.
Oof.
Yeah. I put
That
it up.
Everest ride was awesome.
Everest was, yeah. Avatar wasn't even the best ride at Animal Kingdom.
Oh no.
So that's that.
We got off topic. What were we talking about? Oh, making me cry.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's not hard to do.
I don't want to make you cry right now. I want you to talk about your race coming up.
Oh, yes. Oh, it is coming up so soon, you guys. So May 13th, Saturday, Arms Park in Manchester, the Total Image Running 10 miler and 10K.
8 a.m.
It is coming up so soon.
Bring your babies. Bring your...
I will not kiss babies. I
Bring
think
your
that's weird.
dogs.
He keeps saying that. No baby kissing, but
Okay,
we're gonna
she
have
won't
fun.
kiss your baby, but she'll change their diaper.
I will pet your dogs. That's what I can.
Hey, where'd all the stuff go? It used to be right there. Where did it all go?
we clean the house. It's in the basement now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My house is not a dump anymore.
Well, it is a mountain bike garage.
Well,
It's a mountain bike right there, guys. It is a big mountain bike. Pretty clean.
yeah, because Brandon doesn't get to ride it very often anymore.
Bummer. You
I
should.
hope he gets to though. He really likes that thing. He put a lot of work and money into that. But
Well,
yeah.
great pod.
yes, great pod.
Guys, come to this race. It's going to be a blast. The 13th at 8 a.m. Sign up if you haven't already. If you're within the Mentor, Ohio radius, you are required to go. If you are not, sign up virtually. And if you're not required to go, but some of you
It's
are,
gonna be fun if you can make it. If
you know
not,
who you
I'll-
are.
I'll let it slide.
We have, it's going to be great. We have a few more great interviews already lined up. Couple this week, couple next week. I'm getting my voice back, hopefully. Don't forget, follow us on Instagram at On The Runs and join our Patreon account if you want. If you love us that much, join our Patreon account. We really appreciate the 7 of you who are on there right now. 7 people on Patreon.
See,
7.
I'm gonna need to send. All right, if you're a Patreon, send me your addresses. I have a special surprise for you.
Yes. Oh, she does. It's right over there. We need to stock up and send them more to like our last 20 guests who haven't gotten anything.
Very true. But
Yes.
this surprise is special only for the patrons.
Right. It's a patron only surprise. So I guess you know what we'll do. Today's May 1st. Let's go. If you join our Patreon by your race, they'll get one too. Or do you want to extend it to Memorial Day?
I was gonna say until supplies run out, but I can order more.
You're right.
So
You're right. You know,
whatever you guys want
no,
to do.
great. So we have 7 right now.
I think I have 10.
So there's 3
things.
more. The next 3 Patreons. The next 3 Patreons will get this special surprise. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I'm gonna let you do it, dude.
All right. This is great. Yeah. Patreon
good
guys.
night. What a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you to everyone who was on there. We got one more new Patreon shout out. We're going to save it for the next one. And thank you, Mom. I love you. And,
Hi, Janice. We
this-
never shouted out Mary either, did we? Yes, we did.
yeah, we did.
Okay. All right.
We
Hi,
did.
Mary.
Well,
We're shouting you out
we,
again.
we didn't shout out Mary. We shout out Tom.
Ah.
Thank
Hi,
you, Tom.
too, also.
And Mary.
There we go.
Mary will be on soon, guys. You're going to like her. She's a joy. She is a absolute sweet joy. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Can't wait to talk to you on the next one.
Hopefully, May will bring some sunny, warm weather so you can not forget to stretch outside.
Erica's favorite month, by the way, because
It's gonna be May.
3, 2, 1.
That's what I said. I'm like, that's adorable. I wouldn't go plastering my ass on Instagram, but I would wear those. I would rock those.
Same.
You say that, and then I say content.
Yes, you say content, and I say no. I will shut that down.